This is Andrew Niddle with the Oklahoman. I'm here today with Mark Falk. He's an activist and filmmaker from here in Oklahoma City. And February 29th, he was detained at the Will Rogers World Airport for roughly an hour, and again at the airport in Newark, New Jersey. And he's here today to tell us a little bit about that and its possible connection to his Occupy involvement. Go ahead and kind of tell us, what happened at Will Rogers there on February 29th.
Okay, well, I was traveling to New York to see the premiere of a film I worked on called The Wall Street Conspiracy, which kind of is self-explanatory, had to do with fraud on Wall Street. And I was dropped off at the airport. I had already tried to log in and do the boarding pass online the night before, and it wouldn't allow me to do it. It said, online login not available, your reservation requires special attention, or special handling. So I go to the airport, I do it again on the kiosk. Again, it crashes and it says, go to the front desk. I go to the desk, she tries to do it 2 or 3 times, it won't go through. She brings a supervisor over, he tries it once, and then he kind of gives me this little look, little sideways look. He picks up the phone, makes a quick phone call, and within about 20 seconds, I have 4 TSA agents surround me right there at the ticket counter. And the supervisor says, he's on the no-fly list.
Can you talk about, your background and your travel? Prior to that, you had traveled earlier in the year with no problems, and kind of tell us how, I know you don't know because they won't tell you, but kind of tell us why you think, you might be on the watch list.
Well, I mean, as she said, the biggest problem with this is no one will give you answers. Even the people at the counter keep referring to it as a no-fly list and saying, I'm on it. The TSA said, yeah, you were flagged on the no-fly list. They did eventually let me fly. But I worked on this film in New York for about 1.5 years. The last time I flew was, I believe, April of last year, so it's been a little less than a year. And I flew back and forth every 2 to 3 weeks, and I never had any kind of a problem.
Can you tell us what happened in Black Friday here in Del City that might have, we talked on the phone and you indicated that you thought that was probably what landed you on the watch list. Can you talk about that incident?
I think there's a couple of possibilities. One is just my involvement in Occupy. I was fairly high profile. We all fell into our roles, even though we didn't have official roles, and I ended up doing a lot of interviews and a lot of radio interviews, so my name was out there a lot during the Occupy movement in Oklahoma. But also, on Black Friday, we did a protest against Walmart, and we did it at 2 or 3 Walmarts, and we got to the 3rd one in Del City. I was filming during that, and they were doing what's called a mic check, where one person says something and the rest of the people repeat it. And it basically was showing the disparity of employees' wages versus the millions upon millions of dollars that the CEO makes and how much profit Walmart makes and how poorly they treat their employees. And at that point, the Del City police kind of just, I'm going to just say, went crazy and started tackling people as we were asked to leave, and everybody was walking towards the door. They began to tackle people. And eventually I was actually tackled as well by a Del City police officer, and we were all arrested. But I'm just speculating. Did they flag me because of the arrest record? Did they flag me because of my very active involvement in Occupy? And then go back and look at my body of political activism over the last 8 years and decide that suddenly I'm some kind of a threat to national security? I really don't know.
You said that you're probably going to have to do some traveling for the same film. You said you're going to have to go to Connecticut and Washington. Talk about your feelings about having to travel, knowing that you could potentially have to, get the 3rd degree every time you go there.
Honestly, I am not certain that I'll get on a plane again until this is resolved. After the incident in Oklahoma City, I was literally physically ill for the rest of the day. I was in shock that I was flagged and shocked that I've had over the years, because of my being critical of Goldman Sachs and a lot of things in Wall Street, I've had death threats, I've had a lot of things, but nothing really made me feel ill to my stomach like having my own government target me. as some type of enemy of the government. And then I had a whole week to think about it before I came back, so it was almost doubly bad. So I don't know. I can't tell you that I want to go through that again.
All right, well, that's about it. We're here with Mark Falk. I'm Andrew Niddle with the Oklahoman.